leave the grid, and it's a very important race indeed for the Irish contingent, because only 5 get through to the big occasion tomorrow for the Leinster Trophy over 20 laps. It's a 10-lap race. On pole position, we have Australian Mark Williamson, accentuating the international aspect of the competition here this weekend. So there we have Mark Williamson, who was very much a front runner at Donington recently. Alongside him, Nick Hart, who is a race instructor at Brands Hatch. Then the first of the Irishmen in the second row, Dennis Sheehan. Young Paul Monaghan doing very well to get onto the second row there, the Monarch Properties car. Then we have the Japanese driver, Hinoi, and alongside him, the hero of the afternoon, Noel Roddy, who of course won the Opel-Lotus Championship round here earlier on this afternoon. You can just see him in the background there, number 56. Bringing up the tail of the field, that glorious veteran, Tommy Reid.
Yes, all important for the Irish. We have Dennis Sheehan, Paul Monaghan and Noel Roddy in the top 6 here, and behind them we still have Derek M. Daly. Alan McGarrity, unfortunately not out in this race because he blew an engine, so we have a problem there. And number 21
is Matt Aiken, who for music fans, people would be very interested, of Scott Aiken Waterman, a man who's in love with motor racing, raced at Monaco in his £500,000 Jaguar XJR 15, and indeed has quite a collection of racing cars. So they're on their final warm-up lap. As I said earlier, very important for the Irish contingent. There's quite a number of them in it, and they've got to get into the top 5, and they're going to be trying desperately to do that.
Yes, to be fair to our cross-channel visitors, 30 entries, and it was decided by the organisers that the fastest 15 from qualifying earlier this morning would go straight through for the Leinster Trophy race tomorrow, and that the other half of the grid, the 15, whether it's Irish, English or Japanese, would have to qualify. And there's 5 places left on the back of that grid for the qualifiers. We would like to see Noel Roddy up there like he did, but he's actually on the 3rd row because it was a different qualifying session that they used for the actual Leinster Trophy race. So Noel not doing as well in this qualifying as he did for the Irish race, which he won earlier on. But Dennis Sheehan, the partner of Vivian Daly, on the 2nd row, car number 22, just coming down there on the inside. But Vivian Daly, a number of the Irish, Morgan Dempsey Jr., the whole lot already gone through. But the pole position man here, Mark Williamson, the time's fairly close. He did a time of 54.73. Beside him, Nick Hart in a time of 55.12. So nothing really in it. We'll be watching out for Dennis Sheehan, Paul Monaghan and Noel Roddy, and hoping they make it into that top 5 so that they qualify for tomorrow's race.
And we've just heard at the very back of the grid, we've got Alan McGarrity, who wasn't able to make the Irish race. He's out there. We're looking at Nicky Hart, a young man from Kent, and we're ready to go. 10 laps, and it's going to be all action down at Aircell. Mark Williamson, a bit of creeping. Noel Roddy makes a good start, but it's Nicky Hart who gets it. Nicky Hart gets away. Noel Roddy's in 3rd place, just looking over, diving down into 3rd place there. Noel Roddy. So good news for the Irish at the moment. All safely through Aircell, which is a bit of a relief as they stream out into the back section with Nick Hart in the lead.
Yes, and a number of drivers there just anticipating the lights. We'll wait from the organisers to see has anybody been penalised for a jump start. But look at this for the action, sliding out there wide and just being taken on the inside. No holds barred, down the inside again. Absolutely superb manoeuvre. Nick Hart really motoring on there, and he'll see in his mirrors that everything is happening behind him.
So Nick Hart in the lead, but in 2nd place now, still Noel Roddy under this extreme pressure from Mark Williamson. Mark Williamson really making a big effort down in the back of the circuit, but Roddy withstanding it.
We don't see Dennis Sheehan in that lap there, the only Irish flag flying there. That's Paul Monaghan in 4th place at the moment. That was Dennis Sheehan back into 6th place, and there we see it. Derek M. Daly in the background as well. So at the moment, the Irish flag being flown by Noel Roddy there in 2nd place, with Paul Monaghan there in 4th place. So
Sam Thompson in just behind him. So we're holding well at the moment. We've got at least 3 drivers into the final at this stage, but it's very early days. Just completed 1 lap. Nick Hart pulling out, very much underfinanced, he was telling me at the moment. Really doesn't have the big bucks to go racing the way he would like to. But Noel Roddy once again, and Roddy making an attempt on the inside, a little bit desperate I thought, but didn't get away with it.
Yes, he's got to finish to qualify, but at the moment he is tucked in there looking for that first place. But locking wheels very, very badly there indeed. Nick Hart inside with Paul Monaghan there under pressure from Sam Thompson. Paul would like to qualify for tomorrow's race as well. So would Sam. In fact, so would all the drivers out here today. They want to be in the big one tomorrow, the Leinster Trophy race in the middle of the afternoon. Already 15 cars gone through to this, and you can see that Noel Roddy is really trying at the moment.
Absolutely inspired, no doubt, by his victory earlier on this afternoon, and each time he closes under braking. Nothing much Williamson can do it at the moment. Pinoe is bringing up the back of that little group, but Nick Hart it is. Nick Hart in the lead, still Noel Roddy in second, still Williamson in third, and once again he tries down the inside but doesn't get away with it.
And the big news, number 56, Noel Roddy has been penalised 10 seconds. Number 1, Yashutaka Hinoi has been penalised. Number 15 has been penalised. Nick Hart, our leader at the moment. So the first and second men have been penalised. And also number 21, that was Matt Aiken. So now it's a different picture altogether. So our first and second place men on the road here penalised for that jump start.
Well, that at our ready reckoning would mean that Mark Williamson is now in the lead. Mark Williamson, in actual fact, in third place on the road, but is leading in reality this race. So that's pretty sensational. The other sensational thing is that Paul Monaghan would be in second place. So what a drive from young Paul Monaghan, and Sam Thompson probably in third. So there in reality is Mr. Prosperity himself, Mark Williamson, who leads this race. But what sad news for Noel Roddy and indeed Nick Hart.
Yes, well, we did see a number of cars creep on the grid. We just couldn't make it out, but we've had it officially now from the organisers. 56, 15, 21 and 1, all penalised for that jump start. So in theory, these two boys battling out the front, if they can pull out enough of a lead, but it's only a 10-lap qualifying race. The previous one was a 20-lap championship race, and somebody on the grass there was Noel Roddy actually coming out very, very wide indeed, and he's coming under pressure now from Mark Williamson, who's actually our race leader.
But we're just feverishly looking down the lap chart here to see what real difference that's going to make. It could mean that Dennis Sheehan, number 22, in fact is up in the top 5 also. So certainly at this stage of going, Williamson is going to get into the final. Paul Monaghan is going to get into. Williamson's challenging for second place and nearly going off. Of course, he doesn't realise of this penalty and is absolutely jeopardising his chances. I think he's disrupted the front nose fin in that car in that manoeuvre, and it's really totally unnecessary. Yes, look at the front nose fin. It's hanging off that front wing. And that really would be very sad if he damaged the car in a move that wasn't necessary. But look at Paul Monaghan. He's closing.
It's Paul Monaghan. We have a red flag situation. A red flag being shown at. There's the car, and that is the problem. Two cars abandoned in the middle of the track. So at our start and finish commentary point here, we have a red flag situation. That was the leader on the road, Nick Hart.
So the situation is all the drivers must stop when they see the red flag. The race is being stopped. It looked like number 1, Hinoi, the Japanese car, abandoned there in the middle of the course. So they will probably restart the race eventually, and you can see it really is in a dangerous position. The marshals can't even get at it. It's just there at Subaru. And so all the drivers, after all that effort, and now of course the bad news will come to Roddy and Nick Hart of their jump start. And Noel Roddy gesticulating there, obviously wants a bit of help from his mechanics. I wonder, will Williamson have a chance to repair that front wing? But he will now also find out the reality of the situation, that he was in fact in the lead of the race. And there is that young Japanese driver who has been off a few times in his career.
And the other bad news, that the other car involved was number 57, PJ Fallon, which is parked on the grass on the other side of the circuit. So obviously the two of them coming together. The young Japanese driver out there, perfectly all right. Spun off and unfortunately obviously couldn't get it started. You can see the tire marks there on the front of Mark Williamson's car where he got in just a little bit too close. So all to do again.
So that's the situation, that race being stopped and rerun. We won't have time to stay with it, but of course great excitement tomorrow when we look forward to the highlight of the day, which will be for the Leinster Trophy, for the British round of the Vauxhall Opel Championship. Other highlights will be, of course, the Dunlop Saloons, where there are no less than 12 of the fabulous Sierra Cosworths battling out around this tight and very demanding Mondello circuit. The Peugeot 205s will be here. We will see the Formula Ford 1600s in action. So really, what a weekend this is down here at Mondello. And the Leinster Motor Club in charge, very competently handling the situation at the moment. But tomorrow's the big day. And you've got to remember that if you were watching Grand Prix racing recently, that no less than 3 of the runners in Grand Prix racing at the moment all came as winners in recent years for the Leinster Trophy.
Well, that wraps up the first day. Unfortunate, but safety